Judicial Center. Man, you know, they said for me to be effective, I have to touch everything. But I wouldn't touch the Judicial Center with a 10-foot pole. They need to be more transparent. This is a lot of money we're spending, and the community has no idea what's going on. And here again, if I'm wrong, I apologize, but I get my facts. What I understood was the bricks they're using came from a brick company in Macon, Georgia called Cherokee Brick. And the bricks they're using from Cherokee Company in Macon, Georgia do not meet what the architects suggested they should use. Now, what's wrong with this picture? We got Boral brick right here. How many people need jobs? Our employment rate just jumped, and we're taking work out of Augusta, Georgia, and we're giving it to a brick company in Macon, Georgia, feeding their people, helping Bibb County, and it ain't helping us. Why? I don't understand. And if you look at the bricks, they're what I call butt ugly. They don't match nothing. And I'm not, you know, think about it. Judicial Center. I just wish we'd have more transparency in the Judicial Center and more understanding of what's going on. And here again, this comes from my heart. Next slide. Does the mayor need a vote? By God, we need somebody that has power to say. Let me tell you something. Anybody know who Jack Welch was? Who's Jack Welch? GE. Chairman, CEO of GE. When Jack walked down the hall, people trembled. Jack could fire you on the spot, and your desk would be cleaned out before you hit the door. Somebody's got to be scared of somebody. Does the mayor need a vote? I don't know, but Fred Russell needs to be able to hire and fire people. I believe Fred's a good man, but his hands are tied. The commissioners, none of them have backgrounds in these departments. I mean, come on, guys. We need business leaders to run our community. Next slide. Okay, boys and girls, here's where the rubber hits the road. You're standing up, read this one. Can anybody read this?
The failure of any commissioner to vote on any issue except for absence from the meeting when the issue was voted upon or because the commissioner has validly abstained as provided in the preceding paragraph shall be recorded as a no vote.
Okay. Do me a favor, read that one more time, just a little bit louder. And listen to the words, guys.
The failure of any commissioner to vote on any issue except for absence from the meeting when the issue was voted upon or because the commissioner has validly abstained as provided in the preceding paragraph shall be recorded as a no vote.
Okay. I do my homework, guys. I don't stand up here and not do my homework. Let me tell you something. I read the rules and procedures. Can you see what that says? This is the rules and procedures. And they vote on this every single year to accept this document. And guess what? They reference 1.0906 all the way through the Rules and Procedures Manual, but somebody got white out and took this out. If you look in the new Rules and Procedures, it referenced 1.0906 over and over again, but this paragraph is missing. It's my contention it stands. This should have never been taken out. The first consolidated government meeting, they talked about abstentions, and the city attorney says, wait a minute, we can't do this, and it just became an accepted practice. But here's what the book says, boys and girls. And this is the kind of corrupt government we're dealing with. They make the rules up as they go along. All right, let's next slide. Leadership Augusta. Holy moly. What a disappointment. Why do we call them followers Augusta? Or Augustans that don't care, they're trying to build their resume. Or I want to feel like I'm important for a year. Or my boss says I need this. Leadership Augusta, what a huge disappointment. What are they leading? What are they leading? Where do we go? Who do we turn to? And click ahead a couple slides. There you go. Boom. See that? That's in the year 2000. The year 2000. Brenda Durant, myself, and Jan Wiggins. We sat down and we came up with Solutions 2000. This is 10 years ago, almost to the day when we sat down and did this. 10 years ago. We formed Destination 2020. We gave it its name. We formed a board of directors. Back up a couple slides. Back up where we're leadership. Leave it there. We formed a board of directors, put officers in the chairs, and started rotating the officers for Leadership Augusta to build Destination 2020. Next slide. We paid $25,000 as a city for this little slick brochure. Remember, Kathy, the 10s, 20s, 25? $25,000. $25,000. But the leadership in this town does not want to see it go forward. The leadership in this town did not enable them to succeed. The leadership in this town is happy controlling you. The leadership in this town, why did this project die? Why wasn't it embraced and held dear by our government? Because they don't want it. Because it's going to mean somebody's going to lose a contract. Or somebody's brother is now, he was in jail paying stripes and now he's out paying stripes. We just can't figure out who we're going to. Leadership Augusta, $25,000. Swear to God, true story. That was 10 years ago. Leadership Augusta needs to wake up and decide whether they're leaders or followers. And I tell you, that's just the way I feel about it. Don't use us to build a resume and claim yourself to be a leader when you're not. Shame on them. Next slide, city charter. Next slide. Back up. City charter. Who knows about the city charter? Well, basically, it was written by a couple of crooks. Robin Williams and Charles Walker. Okay? Basically, it's designed for a flawed government. You know, we're in books as an example of consolidated government that has failed, that doesn't work. But we don't look at the elephant in the room. We don't stop and say, this ain't working. And all of a sudden, we're $8 million in the hole. Our emergency reserves are being drained down constantly. But no, we don't want to look at the problem. We might have to do something. Think about it. I'm making a challenge today, and I've already asked the mayor because nobody likes to be blindsided. One of our goals, we're going to address this city charter now. It's not, let me tell you something, in negotiating, there's all kind of, and you've learned this, there's all kind of negotiating ploys. There's the hot potato, there's the stall, there's the dodge, there's the want it all, and these are real techniques you use in negotiating. And one of the famous negotiating ploys is the stall and the dodge. And I've been stalled and dodged to death. I went before the Atlanta delegation, we can't get to it this year. We'll get to it next year. The next year, you missed the deadline for us to make it into a bill. We'll get to it next year. You know when I started doing that? 2000, 10 years ago. I earned the right to be this man. City charter. Next slide. Goals. What are our goals? As a community, do we have a written plan of action? Where are we going to be in 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Do we have systems in place to meet those goals? All you have to do is walk across the bridge to North Augusta, and they hit their 1 year, 5 year. There's no doubt they'll hit their 10 and 20 year goals. We're going nowhere except for $8 million in the hole because we have a bunch of people that don't care. If I lie to you to get elected, what will I do after I'm elected? Nothing! But what to help me?